I am excited. Nick Saban is finally gone. I am actually kind of happy. Why? Why am I happy? Now, first off, I'm not an Alabama hater, but this is why I'm happy Nick Saban is finally retiring. Every time I hear about college football, Alabama, 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 Alabama. Every time you turn on a sports network channel where they're talking about college football, they're always going to talk about Alabama. Every time the best high school football players post the schools that have offered them, they always show off the Alabama offers. That's the first offer they show off. And I'm going to be honest, as an Alabama fan, I get tired of hearing about Alabama sometimes. And there are other great schools, in my opinion, like USC, UNC Tar Heels. Those are not, like Tar Heels, that's not a very popular football program, but I like that team. Michigan, some Arizona, some of these schools may have losing records, let's be honest, but there are other schools out there. Like, we hear about Clemson, but let's be honest now. We hear about Alabama all the time. And like I said, I am an Alabama fan. Now, I am happy for Nick Saban. I am proud of Nick Saban. I think, well, first off, his resume speaks for it all. He is the greatest as of now. Who's going to top him off? That's going to be hard to do, but who's going to top him off? And without Nick Saban, what is Alabama anymore? Like, let's be for real. What is Alabama? Because we know that Alabama has produced some of the best football players to ever play the game. Undeniably, let's be for real. Some of the best NFL players came from Alabama on the offensive and defensive side. But we got to remember, it's not like all the players that have played for Alabama played there for the entire time that Nick Saban was coaching. We're talking since 2007. This guy has had successful seasons with Alabama. Let's read the stats real quick. 7 national championships. Most coaches would cry just to play at the national championship game. Most coaches would cry just to have a 12-2 record, the record that Nick Saban retired with this season. There are a plethora of coaches who would cry to have that record. Let's keep reading the stats. 17 seasons with Alabama. Now, this stat right here is crazy. 206 wins and 29 losses. Oh my. Let me say that again. 206 W's and 29 L's. Yes, that's right. For the entire 17-season career he's been with Alabama, he's only lost 29 times. Who can say that? Who else can say that? There's probably another Alabama affiliate that can say that. But as a head coach, who can say that for a successful program? I'm talking about the best of the best. Nobody else can say that. Come on now. And Nick Saban, we got to clap, man. We got to clap. He really owns Alabama. Matter of fact, I've been seeing news on Twitter, people lighting up candles, putting up gifts, teddy bears, and I love you signs at the football stadium campus just because he's leaving. That says it all. He's basically like the town's president. And by the way, Alabama doesn't have a NFL team, so their collegiate football team basically runs the town. So Nick Saban is basically their president. He means a lot to that town. Now, like I said, his resume speaks for it all. And look, that's why I'm kind of happy he's gone, because that means that there's more competition between other teams. You feel me? I want to see more. I want to be able to say, oh, look, Arizona's playing today. They're playing versus Alabama. Ooh, who's going to win? I want to be able to say, oh, UNC Tar Heels are going to play. They're going to play Alabama. Oh, we don't know who's going to win. Because before, every time Alabama would play, we already knew, okay, Alabama's most likely going to win. We already knew if you're going for Alabama, you're going to win that parlay. You're going to win. You're most likely going to win. Now, that isn't the case all the time, but for the most part, they're a successful team. And with Saban coaching them? Oh boy, Nick Saban is the GOAT. So that's why I'm kind of happy. So don't think that this is me hating on Nick Saban. No, I actually respect the man's ability to coach. The guy is exemplary for coaches, and he is definitely a Hall of Famer. Did you guys know he coached in the NFL, by the way? He coached for the Miami Dolphins, I believe. And he also coached for LSU. He won a national championship with LSU, by the way. So the guy has a resume that cannot be topped. It's possible to top. It's possible, but it's going to be extremely difficult. We're talking 17 seasons with different players each year. So try to top that. Anyways, like I said, Nick Saban is the GOAT. And a lot of people are skeptical on why he's retiring. And one thing that I want to mention about his retirement is that I feel like it dealt with the NIL and the transfer portal. See, I don't know if you all have been listening to any of his interviews, but Nick Saban hates the NIL and transfer portal. Every time he talks about what's wrong with the collegiate football system, he always hates how the transfer portal is affecting the team's roster. So it's obvious the transfer portal is hindering their ability to retain players in their roster. And I feel like that's one of the main reasons why he's retiring. And it's also hurting the recruitment process. Recruitment sometimes is about one player seeing a high caliber 5-star player signing the commitment letter to play at Alabama, and then them seeing that and saying, okay, you know what? They signed, you know what? I'm going to sign too. Like a quarterback sign, and then a nice wide receiver says, okay, you know what? I'm going to go play with that quarterback. And then the other old linemen are like, oh, we got a nice quarterback. I'm signing in. And then some defensive players are saying that. They're saying, okay, you know what? They got a nice offense. Hey, I'm going to add on to the defense. That's kind of what recruitment is like. But with the transfer portal, people leaving, coming back, oh, it's mayhem. It's a tornado. They can't retain some of their best players. And with NIL, they got to spend bands now. See, to get a really good quarterback in your collegiate football roster, you got to be willing to spend $1 to $2 million. And I don't think college football teams want to spend how many players can they recruit? I don't know exactly, but they probably have 4 or 5 quarterbacks. Let's just say all of them are good. That's about 10 million, 8 to 10 million right there. That's right. So they got to spend that money. And I'm pretty sure that affected his ability to coach because he had to worry about those politics. You feel me? So that right there added stress onto his life, in my opinion. I don't know exactly what happened, but he definitely complained about the NIL and transfer portal a lot. And not only that, but most of the players that play football come from the hood. Most of the players that played at Alabama, just think about all the players that we all know played at Alabama that were some of the best. For the most part, they all had to get it out the mud. Now they're in the NFL making millions. They all had to get it out the mud. And the main reason why they're playing football is not just because they love it, but they want to get money to help out their families, their mothers, their siblings, their cousins, their aunties, grandmas, grandpas. That's their drive to play. But now, when you got a school offering you millions or 100 to 6 figures dollars, you're like, hey, bet, Saban, you're going to have to top that off. And I don't think Alabama can do that for all their players. So that's affecting their ability to recruit and retain players. And with that being said, these players, like me, for example, if I were to be offered $1 million from a school like USC, and I had an offer from Alabama, and Alabama's offering me $500K, guess where I'm going? I'm taking myself to California. I'm playing at USC. I'm playing for the Trojans. I'm not playing for no Alabama. I know what I'm worth. I got to get the best of the best, especially if I was a 5-star, one of the best quarterbacks in the nation coming out of high school. You better believe I'm taking the best, the school that's going to offer me the most money. I'm not taking anything lower than number 2. I got to be number 1. So that's how players are thinking nowadays. So I feel like this is affecting his ability to recruit. And let's be honest, it's not like they had a losing record this season. I don't think he's retiring because they had a losing record. The guy's retiring with a 12-2 record. Name how many college coaches can say they had a winning record at the playoffs? 12-2. I'm not talking about 7-6 team, although 7-6 is still winning. 7-6 is still winning. I'm talking about 12-2. Only 2 losses this season, and he retired. So it's not like they had a losing season and it seemed as if they're going to be playing like trash for the next 4 years. No, Alabama got some dogs. Matter of fact, their current players right now, hey, they got some dogs on that team. But he's also getting old. He's aging, and I think he wants to enjoy the rest of his life doing things that he's probably never done. He's earned the money. According to Tuscaloosa News, his yearly salary is $10.6 million. The man doesn't need no money. He got the millions. So I think the combination of the NIL/transfer portal, him aging, him realizing, you know what, I'm coming into that stage of my life where I need to start doing things that I always wanted to do. I'm 72. I think it's time to enjoy life. I believe he's married. I think he wants to spend more time with his wife. I don't know if he has kids, but if he does, he probably wants to spend more time with his kids, family members, siblings, or whoever he loves. So that's my opinion. And overall, the man is a legend. So let's clap one more time for Nick Saban, man. I don't even know about the guy too much. All I think of when I think Nick Saban is Alabama. Oh, W's. Oh, if I cash my parlay on Alabama, I'm getting a bag. You feel me? So Nick Saban is really the GOAT, and I hope the best for his future. And overall, let's see what Alabama's going to do. How will their future be like? But shout out to Nick Saban. Anyways, if you enjoyed my video, I'm Jonathan Panda. Thank you for tuning in. Like this video if you like my vibe, and make sure you subscribe, because when you subscribe, my videos will be posted on your YouTube wall when you log on to YouTube. I will see you all in the next video.